Hello, Heccu here at HGC Western Clash. Right now, I'm joined by Zaelia, support player from Team Dignitas. How are you doing, Zaelia? Congrats with your win.
Doing okay. The win wasn't what we expected. We came in here, heroes hard, the bottom of NA, and we expected a 2-0. But, it was fine. It was fine.
It was fine, but I guess you won the first game pretty easy. Then you had the second game where of course you were prepared, but you didn't expect the outcome. I guess maybe you bid a little bit too much, and then do you think that it would be possible to have a different outcome of that second game? Like just maybe to not oversteer something else?
I mean, we should have probably been able to close out that game. We had a 2-level lead at one point. They had a quite different comp to the standard with a thrall. And we had the Uther. So if we were gonna take any prolonged fight, we were gonna lose it. Also, we took Gorge and Stitches, which we usually don't do. So it was we were super they had the way stronger team fight. And the last thing we want to do is team fight. And we went up to the bottom keep and took the longest team fight of our lives and all died. So, if we didn't do that and we just kept rotating around the map, probably would have been able to close it out, yeah.
Yeah, but for the third game, you became really serious. So it ended up as a 2-1. You are in the winner's bracket, so everything is pretty fine. So you've been a part of Team Dignitas for more than a year. In 2017, you mostly played melee assassins, bruisers, and off-tanks. Starting from this season, you changed to supports. We know that in your past, you used to play a Resto Shaman in World of Warcraft. So the question is it somehow related to the fact that you're playing a support right now, or is it just a coincidence?
I mean, when we made this new Dignitas roster, there was a discussion about who to put on support, right? But as I already swapped I used to play ranged before I came on Dignitas. My new role was on Dignitas melee. So I already did the swap and it was, quite successful. So, with my World of Warcraft support, past, of course, I'm gonna take it upon me. I'm gonna do another swap. And, it's kind of the same mentality, from supporting in World of Warcraft, you're still, the healer of the group. So, it helped a bit with the understanding in the beginning of what to do in the game,
So basically it's he attack, but he also protect. Yeah. Okay, so Bakery should not feel guilty for leaving the team without a good support because you're performing really good. And since we're talking about James, I think in one of his interviews he already mentioned how you joined Dignitas, but I'm not sure if we ever heard your side of the story. Can you tell how did you become part of Team Dignitas?
It's kind of a funny story, I guess, where I was on an amateur team trying to qualify for the HGC, but I failed miserably, and our team disbanded, and I was just kind of stranded, not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, some kind of magical spot opened up in Dignitas because they wanted to replace Aethero or something. There was a disconnect in the team or something. So they talked with a few people. I was one of them. They needed a melee assassin, so I was I was the complete joker for them. If they were gonna go to me, it was gonna be a huge bet. But over my time playing the Hero League, I apparently got very noticed by James Baker himself, and he was speaking very highly of me. So he kind of talked to his teammates, and I talked a bit with James just personally. And he came to me and he was like, "Yo, if we have a trial, would you want to try out?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then he's like, "Oh, as melee assassin, by the way." I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute." And this was literally 2 weeks before the first HGC summit. So it was December the 20th or something, my trial would begin. So we would have 3 days, 20th, 21st, 22nd, and then Christmas, and then the summit. So it was very stressful, and I had to, instead of, you usually go Christmas shopping or, eating great food with your family, I was sitting there grinding out the trial with Team Dignitas. And December the 22nd, they put it up on Jay to tell me how my trial went. And they had to make a decision because of the flights and the HGC and all that. So everything was very stressful. And he sends me a message initially telling me "Oh, hey, Zaelia, you're doing great," But a very convoluted message where at the bottom, it kind of seems like I'm not in. But then he just grabs everything and he's like, "Pack your bags, you're going to the States. welcome to the team. And I was like, wow, mind blown, because that was a huge step for me, you know. And my trial was really a disaster. So I don't know, they really put all faith, you know, in me, and I guess it worked out.
You're actually giving a lot of hope to Grandmaster players in Hero League. So if you play a lot, if you play good, you can be just like Zaelia here in Katowice playing at the HGC Western Clash. So you have a new roster where you play support. Now you have Weeby back, and instead of Mene, you have Poilk that is on the position of a range assassin. Do you think that with the current roster that you have right now, you'll be able to not only qualify for BlizzCon, but also maybe reach the finals?
Yeah, you know, the new goal, or their goal, is BlizzCon. Winning BlizzCon, actually, this time around. We expect to do well internationally. We saw at the Gold Club, did fairly well, considering everything considered. We're gonna win BlizzCon, hopefully.
Well, BlizzCon, of course, is very important, but it's only in November, and right now we're here for another reason. It is because it's a Western Clash. We have 4 teams from NA, 4 teams from Europe to decide who is the best in the West. Which teams do you expect to see in the top 3, in no particular order?
I expect Dignitas in the top 3. I'm very interested to see what Tempo Storm is gonna bring. If Method shows up, they might be top 3 as well. That's a bit 50-50, I would say. But we had, you know, some time scrimming with the NA teams. I think Team Freedom came here a week before. So we had a few scrims with Team Freedom, and they actually looked super promising. It almost made me believe that Team Freedom would come in here and, you know, smash everybody almost. They had their own style, and it was punishing us very heavily. So maybe Team Freedom is going to be up there as well.
But what do you think? Last year there were problems between Games Europe and NA. I mean, how to say problems? Europe was just winning NA in all of the series. Do you think it might change during this tournament, or it will still stay the same?
I actually think this time around NA is gonna come in swinging. They're actually gonna be showing up. They have their own style. It's probably good, you know, this time. They're looking strong, yeah.
Okay, then for my last question, I just want to ask, what do you think about the state of Hero League right now? Because recently Blizzard added voice comms. Do you think that it improved your experience as a pro player? Is it more useful? And what are your overall thoughts?
The voice chat is amazing. You know, even though you don't really know anybody on your team, you're here to win, right? So everybody's going to try their best to work together, usually. You know, 99% of the cases, you know, you're a team, you're trying to win. And I was kind of worried that in Europe, you know, there's a lot of accents and stuff like that. But really, it's not that much of a problem because you're speaking more of a gaming language than anything. It's like pretty easy to say go top or go mid. And as a pro player, this is amazing. And especially as a support, I can tell them everything I have. Hey, you want to do something with Divine Shield? Hey, I have perfect regrowths right now. We can trade. You know, voice chat is amazing. I love Hero League right now.
Oh yeah, I guess Blizzard was really worried for toxicity because, you know, like everyone is a keyboard warrior, so maybe they'll start also using that in voice chats. But luckily, I guess you have a really good experience. I already talked to Jun. He also has a very positive experience. I have experience. The thing is, I got stuck in Diamond 3 and it's not Grandmaster and people don't really communicate there. I'm not sure if it's because it is only Diamond 3 and people are not so good or they're not so confident themselves, or like what is the reason. But most importantly for you, it's actually an improvement, so it's amazing. Okay, thank you. Then I'm done for today. You can now go relax, sleep, do whatever you want to prepare for the next games. Do you have any shoutouts, and are there any old ladies that you want to thank again?
I just want to forget that interview. It was my first one. It was a true test of, you know, everything. But a big shout out to my team. They're amazing. We're here to have fun. I just hope we're gonna do great. All of the fans out there, you're amazing people. You make this work. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.